This is MikeBot. Today I'm going to be doing a quick little video on the Bambu Studio color tutorial. So I've done a few videos already on Bambu Studio, and I wanted to add to that series by showing everyone how I color prints using Bambu Studio. It's not perfect, it's not the best, but better than nothing. There's still a lot of features missing that I'd like to see, kind of like a line tool and several other tools I'll go over during the tutorial. So let's get started with this. I'm going to go ahead and go on to STLFlix. And the reason I'm going on to STLFlix is mainly because I have a commercial lifetime license with them. And there's no copyright or issues if I just grab something off of here and show everyone how to color it. So I'm just going to scroll through this briefly to see if I can find something interesting and fun to color for everyone. I'll show you guys how I do some of my coloring. I've been getting a lot of comments on people saying I did a good job coloring them on the STLFlix group and various other groups, so I'm going to share my knowledge with everyone because that's what I do. I'm trying to look for something here that's fun, but here we go. I like this Kraken dice tower. So something fun, but something not too complicated. Alright, so STLFlix did an update recently. If you have the commercial license, you can get this media package. So basically in this media package, you get a whole bunch of really nice photos that are already cleaned up and ready to go for you. But here we're just going to grab the STL because that's what I'm going to be coloring today. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So here's the file. By the way, I apologize if the audio wasn't good for that first segment. The microphone wasn't pointed in the right direction. And I think it's good now. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to load the file into here. And then you're going to select your printer and plate first. So I'm going to color this probably on my Bambu X1C because it has 2 AMS units. I put my third AMS unit on my Bambu P1P. By the way, for those with a Bambu P1P with an AMS unit, there is a bug in the firmware that I discovered and I've reported it to Bambu and they are working on a fix. So we are July 9th, 2023. So if you're watching this video anytime in July of 2023, take note of that bug. It should be released. There should be a firmware update released very soon, so it may not be relevant. So for those with Bambu P1P and AMS unit, when you color your print, you cannot send it to the SD card. So when you slice it and send it, you can't, or it's just going to print a single color. It's a bug. You have to actually click print plate, send it directly to the printer, not to the SD card, and that's the only way you'll get color to work. So on that note, we're not coloring with the P1P today. It's going to be on my X1C. So I'm just going to go to my devices here. Get into my P1P and then resync the colors. So those are the colors currently loaded in. Now, mind you, I will go and change the colors if I need be during the print. So on this, I have the cool plate, and I'm gonna go with the standard. What's their recommendation? Okay, so over here, if we look at the file settings, it recommends a 0.20 height, 3 walls, 5% infill. So there's our base that we're working off of. So I'm going to go with 0.20. Strength, boost it up to 3. I'm going to drop the infill down to 10%. And then keep the speed to default, enable supports. And then change the prime tower to be 20 by 20. All right, so I'm just going to pause here for 1 second. All right, so now we'll start with the painting. So you want to click the little paint bucket up here, and then you get into this little screen here, which allows you to color the file that you're trying to work on. So I'm just going to look here and reference what colors they are using. So the octopus varies in color. You got red, green. Towers are kind of a bronze color. You know what? I do have a really nice bronze color. somewhere, so I'm gonna work with that. And then it's a lighthouse, red and white, gray rocks. Okay, I got a good idea of what their color concept is, and we'll just keep it simple and do that. So go ahead and select the color you want at the top here. If you want to change the color, you basically just go in here and you modify it. So I like to use the fill tool. That one works best, and depending on the STL Flix file or any file in general, it works nicely or it doesn't, and it's a case-by-case basis on how you deal with the situation. You might be stuck hand painting everything with this, which is very painful and very slow, but even more painful but very accurate is the triangle tool. So I'll zoom in, so see every one individual triangle. It can be painful, but it's good when you've kind of finished your print and you want to fine-tune it, when you finished coloring your print, your model. So I'm just going to erase everything here, zoom out again. The layer tool works nicely, but it depends on the print. So in this case, you can see it's not going to work very well. If it was rocks all around, I'd be able to basically do this, hit height range, and then go like that. And then that would take care of all the rocks very quickly, but that's not the case in this one. So we're going to do it all manually, one by one, and cheat with the fill tool if it allows us to. So what I like to do is I like to hover over and see what's going to get colored with the fill tool before I click fill. So about 30%, I think that's what that stands for. It does too much. I want to just get the rock, so I need to find the right number here. So let's try 20. Yeah, see, if we do 20, it goes up, it's too high. So Control Z to undo that. Let's try 18. 18 might work. 18 might work. Let me see if I can get away with 19. Can't type here. 19. Enter. Erase all painting. Yep. Okay. We got away with doing it at 19. So managed to get most of the rocks, and we'll get to filling everything in just a second. So I just want to grab all the rocks, make sure I don't miss any. There's even one hiding right here. And there's a couple more in the back here. So let's make sure we get them all. Yeah, those are all rocks actually, but look at that, we got part of the octopus head. So now we undo that by doing Control Z, go back to our tool and change the number. Let's try 15. Still too high. Let's try 12. 12, okay, that might work. We'll try 14 now. No, 14's too much. 13, not 46. Yeah, 13's our magic number for this one. These rocks here are gonna be a pain. Okay, let's see if I can 14. No, let's try 18 again for that rock. Let me undo the last rock I painted there. Yeah, 18's not gonna work. 17. 16. 15. 14. Okay, 14 worked. Okay, so we got a rough idea of the rocks here. And I chose a really complicated one. I should have gone with a simpler one for the first video, but it is what it is at this point. So there's the rocks roughly done. Now this here, what is that? Is that a wave? Let's go to the pictures here. Yeah, it is a wave. Okay, so we're gonna grab blue. I don't have light blue loaded in my printer, but I do have a blue, so we will just use blue here. All right, we're gonna have to play with these numbers again. Try 12. Okay, I'm not sure 12 is gonna work for me. We'll try 13. Yeah, I'm stuck with 12. This one's gonna be a tricky one to paint. I just want to get everything as close as possible to where I want it to be before I proceed. I think I missed a couple of rocks here. 18. My mouse is in the way, so I keep missing. Okay, so there's those rocks that we missed. And by we, I mean I. Let's see, what are we missing here? So next, go back to the reference photo. We're gonna go white, red, white with black stripes in between. Another thing I recommend you do is make the base color of the print the color that you are going to be using as your primary. So for this one, we saw here red is pretty much the primary color, so that's why I went with red as the base. But let's say red isn't the base you want to work with. You just right click on the model and you go change filament and you hit the color that you want. But that's not what we are doing because we want red. So now let's start painting the White House. Smart fill angle, that's too much. Go back here, we'll do 25, too much. Drop it down 5 at a time until we can get down to the nitty gritty. 20, input it, 20 is not enough. Let's go 23, still not enough. Interesting. So like I said, the tool is a little bit buggy, but you got to work with what you got, right? So yeah, it's gonna be rough. This one's gonna be a really, really rough one to paint, actually. I have no way to kind of sugarcoat it. It's not gonna be a fun one. So let me go back here. So it's white. Okay. This one will be a challenge. So let's try 24 again. This is really a pain. Even 23.5 isn't very nice. So the interesting thing is, if you want to give it kind of like a rustic kind of paint chipping look, you can do that and get away with it. Mind you, this is now like 3,000 filament changes, so this print could take 4 days. But to be honest, I kind of like it, so I may go with it. And it's also a shortcut at the same time for this entire painting process. So I'm going to make the lines in between black. Alright, so when I paused there, I forgot to hit record and I ruined hours of footage. So I'm going to restart this and we are going to change the file to something else because that was a pain to realize I wasn't recording. Alright, let's pick something else that's easier to color and faster. And that's not going to be too much work. So I want to pick something color friendly. Let me go to their Explore tab here. And let's look for something friendly to color. Okay, let's go with this hanging triceratops. That should be nice and easy, and let's go with 3MF small. So I actually want this to be accurate, so I'm gonna go and look for a triceratops. I know it's not really accurate because we don't know what it looked like, and everything we do is guessing and whatever. So this is what we think a triceratops looks like based off of bones and research and archaeologists and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna go with almost a bone colored orange. Okay, I have an idea of what I want to do. So I am going to make this a bronzy copper type color. So I'm going to change my orange here to something. I'm going to match it to the closest possible to the filament I have, which is bronzy. I think that's pretty close. So I'm going to make the base of this white. So right click, change filament to white, go to color, Hit the fill tool and hit that new color we just picked out. So see all these white gaps here? That's going to be like 10,000 filament changes. So we're going to undo that, and we're going to change this to be around 50 this time. And as you can see, it fills out a lot cleaner. It's still not perfect though, so I'm going to max it out to 90. And now all the gaps are gone. Looks great, perfect. And then I'm going to keep it at 90. I'm going to hit red, and there's the tongue. Now what color are the eyes of a Triceratops? Okay, I'm going to go with yellow. So we're going to change, I might need that green, might need that brown. We're going to get rid of red. We're going to change red to be yellow. Oops, we need red apparently. Okay, so that's going to be red. So I think I may need green. You know what, I'll do without the green for this one. So I'm going to change that to be yellow and grab my fill tool. And he looks like he's high. I'm going to change that to here. No, let's go with 20. So I want the center to be black. Still no. Go with Control Z to undo. And still not good. Let's go with 5. Okay, we'll try 8. You know what? Let me just make it all yellow. So I'll show you why I'm doing that in a second. Basically having to redo this video, so can't remember what I mentioned. I don't think anything was mentioned because all that footage was deleted. So we're going to keep the eyes yellow. And I kind of like the horns being white. And the back being white, but going off of the pictures we saw online here, would they be white? They kind of look like they're the same color. This one here is white. Yeah, I'm keeping them. Actually, let's make them gray. This is the beauty of the 3MF files STL has. They color very nicely. Because that footage is missing. The octopus was a disaster. I'm going to see if I can salvage something from that footage and include it briefly to show you what I mean. So that's basically it. The head's colored, but now I want to basically make this black. So I'm going to hit the sphere tool. So what's the difference between sphere and circle? I'll show you. So I'll make the pen size bigger just to show you. So if I do this, that's the sphere tool, and here is the circle tool. What's the difference? Well, now you can see what the difference is. The sphere tool literally is concave, so it does everything, and it goes over the edges as well, while the circle tool doesn't. So each one has a specific use. Each one works differently and has a general purpose. So once again, here's the sphere tool, nice clean line, and here's the circle tool, because this is kind of like it's got different ridges and edges, so the circle doesn't really fill it all in. But there's a difference between those two tools. So in this case of the eye, I'm going to shrink the pen size down, and I'm going to go to sphere because I want to make sure I get everything. Then I'm going to find a pen size that's accurate to the eye color, and we're going to go like this and try to get it as accurate as possible. So I'm going to zoom in more. I'm going to undo that entire eye and shrink the pen down a little bit. So nice and easy. Remember to click and release saves it. If you keep holding it on like this, for example, and then you make a mistake and you go Control Z, you lost that all. But if you do little dots, like this, and you just keep unclicking the left button, and you make a mistake, then it's easier to undo the simple mistake versus the larger mistake. So I'm going to zoom out to get an idea of how big that eye is. Okay, eyeball is something like this. And I made a mistake, so I'm going to undo that. I'm going to shrink the pen size down so I can get more accurate. A little bit bigger. And then I'm going to unclick just to start saving, because I'm getting closer to the edge and it's easier to make a mistake now. Right click to go left, right, up and down, and then when you zoom out, you left click outside the painting, do like a 360. So most of this won't really make a big difference in the bigger picture of the Triceratops, but I still like my lines to look clean. This is where I say they need to add a line tool. It would be really nice. Okay, now if I want this to be perfect, this is where I grab the little triangle tool. I can start kind of filling in every tiny triangle individually until I get them kind of straight. I just went too far. It's a lot of work. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to leave it simply like this. And I'm just going to fix this eye here. If you want to take a shortcut, do that, and then use the fill tool. It's another trick I'm sure no one else has shown you. And here, let's do this. Like that. Grab the fill tool. And close enough. It's a little bit off, but anyway, I'm just doing this for demo purposes. You can kind of fine tune it yourself and go upon it however you want. And if we just use triangles, it's a little bit more work. But you might be able to get a more accurate coloring. Now, I'm just using my normal mouse here. I actually went and bought this graphic designer's mouse, and this thing is amazing. Like, it's on right now. This thing is so accurate, it makes painting a breeze. I think the battery's dead. Unfortunately, the battery is dead, so I can't really demo this mouse. Yeah, the battery's dead, unfortunately, but this mouse makes coloring a breeze. So I'm just gonna charge it here since I remembered right now. Okay, so I'm not printing this model, so I'm not going to fine tune it. But I've basically shown you really quickly how to color. I'm going to try to salvage some of the previous video and include it in the beginning of this clip before I show this one. And that'll be it. So that's it for part 1 of the Bambu Studio coloring. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and look for more Bambu coloring videos. I'm going to show you how to get really down into the nitty-gritty and make beautiful 3D printed color models. Thank you all again for watching, and remember to hit that subscribe button. Whitebot out.